A very good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome each and every one of you to the night of tribute in loving memory of an exceptional Nigerian and African, a man who holds dearly to our hearts, a man whom is an icon within the arts industry, the arts firmament in Nigeria and Africa, and even the world. I want to crave your indulgence. We'll kick off the event formally at 5 p.m. Please, if you need anything personally, you can reach out to any of our ushers. They will meet you at the point of call. But nevertheless, we just want you to sit back, relax, and also enjoy the picture elements going on the screen. And also to those who joined online, some persons are joined virtually around the world. We have quite a number of them that are logged in currently. We say welcome to you as well, wherever you are in the parts of the world that you're viewing this night of tribute in honor of an exceptional treasure. Please, we just want you to be patient with us. We'll kick off formally at 5 p.m. My name is George, and I'll be your director of ceremony for today. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
The same thing here, you know. Right. You can see it all. Look at again
the LMO professional.
Yes, here. You know. And then look at the wrestlers again. So that's the critical thing we both saw in Norway. And
so this is just one door. Okay.
This is just one door for a particular part of the palace. You know, I believe. My theory is that, like I said, he did many doors, but he would have done this very grandiose and grand one only for the palaces.
You mentioned that you mentioned the Seiti first.
Yes.
Then you also mentioned Leisha.
Yes.
Okay, which one is this one?
This is the Leisha one. This is the Leisha one.
Okay.
The Ekiti one is the one in Detroit.
Okay.
That's the one definitely in Detroit. And the Ekiti one, there was supposed to two sets were made, according to two sets. But for this one, only a set that was made. Okay. And again, look at again the picture of the same thing.
So they're going for a sacrifice.
Yes.
That's a Shango.
Yes, Shango worshipper. And then this is the divination tree.
Sure.
So, and after divination, the Ifa priest prescribes the rituals that have not been carried out for the problem to be solved. You know. And again, the domestic scene, you know, and you can see the same thing. And this, you can see this one has half shaped hair. Again, that's another signature of Olowe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because his mother was captured as a slave.
Right.
And he was supposed to have been born in the town of Efron,
okay.
You know, and then mother captured her as a slave, and then he was brought back as a child to Ise.
Okay.
Which is where he grew up.
Okay.
And the
Ise is in Ekiti.
Ise is in Ekiti. And the Oba at his time his major patron, the Anjali, was the one who started commissioning him. Because it's never known whether Odowe had a trainer. Nobody knows up to today. All the books said, nobody's sure whether anybody taught him. Again, that's another peculiarity. But I mean, if you ask me, he must have gone through a kind of apprenticeship under somebody. But because we don't document this, we don't keep records like we're supposed to. These things get lost.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
He was verbal.
Exactly. What's it called? Oral tradition.
Yeah.
As a result of what? Fortune.
See what I'm recording you now.
Yeah, okay.
So you can see this is why the figures you try to bring them out of the plane.
Right.
The plane of the earth by making them to engage in various activities. You can see. You can see. This particular register is one of problems. They are not looking drawing. They are looking at their audience. They are facing outward. These faces, they are always signature.
Already, okay.
Yeah. There is signature of himself as well as his followers. And wherever you see an MVP, look at these faces. And once you see the faces, no straight over that.
This is from the Ondo area because I see this is an Ondo side.
Yeah, this is particular Ondo. Yeah, this is not by level. What they call not by level. This is one on the side. And it's always that's the plan of normal. And again, this is another domestic scene. And you can see, the way, this is an urban, rare figure. You can see that he has taken the trouble to create space.
So this should have been one tree, one panel, or did he join them?
No, he never joined.
So he literally created this 3D
Yes,
out of
yes,
the whole.
yes, half through. He never joined anything, and he always kept it. He never kept any other one.
I just want to.
No, it's okay.
You don't want to do that.
Why probably discuss?
Okay. Although he was definitely the best person to depict motion in your traditional art. It was very fast. Nobody ever did it before. Not only that, also the first person to depict 3D, animation.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did we do before?
It was always frontal. Always frontal, like European art in one place. We do this when they didn't have an idea of dimensions at all. 3D. They were always painting. Painters. They were always doing 2D at that until the Renaissance. When the
The authors of this world were doing the
exactly until Michelangelo came during the Renaissance, and the whole of art recognized the concept of life, the graphic and assisted history. But in the case of Omoe, it was another story totally, and I think that's why the art became very fascinating for he wanted to, in the attempt to show life in the art, in Yoruba traditional art, he must have received the instruction that look, I'm about to do different things now. That's exactly what he tried to do by taking out the figures You can see the way to grab the figures from the panel.
Yes.
And giving them, making them very active, looking, viewing, as if they were really participating. Am I missing something? Nobody ever.
Stop it to take another one. Start another.
Okay. All right, stop.
So that it's not too heavy.
Okay. The bread.
Yes, the
follow the palace they will have, within the
You just
exactly. Nobody ever did this before other way. He's the only one who started bringing out the figures from the picture plane. Same thing here.
Right.
You can see all the. I mean, look at again
The LMO professional.
Yes, here. And then look at
The wrestling.
the wrestlers again. So that's the critical thing which they will go saw in Norway. And
So this is just one door. Okay.
this is just one door for a particular part of the palace. Which I believe my own theory is that like I said, he did many doors, but he would have done this very grandiose and grand one only for the palaces.
You mentioned that this you mentioned this Ekiti first.
Yes.
And then you also mentioned Lilisha.
Yes.
Which one is this one? Which one?
This is the Elisha one.
This is Lilisha one.
This is the Elisha one.
Okay.
The Ekiti one is the one in the church.
Okay.
That's the one definitely. And the Ekiti one, there was supposed to two sets were made according to two sets. But for this one, only a set that was made.
Okay.
And again, look at again the depiction of the same thing.
So they're going for a sacrifice.
Yes, again, yes.
That's a Shango.
Yes, Shango worshipper. And then this is the divination trait.
Sure.
So, and after divination, the Ifa priest prescribes the rituals that must be carried out for the problem to be solved, and again the domestic scene, and you can see the same thing here. And this, you can see this one has half-shaped hair. Again, that's another signature of Olowe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was his mother was captured as a slave.
Right.
And he was supposed to have been born in the town of Evalai.
Okay.
And then mother captured him as a slave, and then he was brought back as a child to Ise,
Okay.
which is where he grew up.
Okay.
And the
He says in Ekiti.
Ise is in Ekiti. And the Oba at his time, his major patron at the time, the Anjali, was the one who started commissioning him. Because it's never known whether Olowe had a trainer. Nobody knows up to today. All the process, nobody is sure whether anybody taught him. Okay, that's another peculiarity. But I mean, if you ask me, he must have gone through a kind of apprenticeship under somebody. But because we don't document things, we don't keep record like we were supposed to. This is the secret process.
We didn't know to keep it.
Yeah.
He was verbal.
Exactly. What's it called? Oral tradition.
Yeah.
As a result of fortune.
See what I'm recording you now. It's easy recording.
Yeah, okay.
So you can see this is why the figures try to bring them out of the plane.
Right.
The plane of the words by making them to engage in various activities. You can see. You can see this particular register is one of problems.
Right.
They are not only the drama, they are looking at their audience, facing out.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome each and every one of you that are physically present here, and also those who are joined in virtually from different parts of the world to honor the life of an exceptional art curator, of an exceptional African, one we love so much, a man we draw inspiration from, a mentor to hundreds of other arts lovers around the world. Nevertheless, please, may I crave your indulgence. It's also a night of celebration of the life of this distinguished Nigerian. If your hands are not too busy, can we give Prince Olasehinde Odimayo a big, big round of applause of gratitude to God Almighty. For those who are joined virtually and a few of our friends that are seated here, this distinguished gentleman played a foundational role in shaping Nigeria's modern virtual arts ecosystem. He was best known as the founder and director of Treasure House Fine Arts in Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Night of Tribute in loving memory of late Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. Permit me to invite to the microphone for the opening prayer. Please welcome me, Mr. Ola Makinde, to please step forward for the opening prayer.
Good evening, everybody. Please, shall we rise? Let's rise to pray. Father, in Jesus' name, our Lord and our God, we thank you for this gathering. Thank you, Father, for the night of tribute for our beloved Prince Olasehinde Odimayo, a father, a brother, an uncle, a friend, a colleague, that it has pleased you, Lord, to take to yourself at such a time like this. Thank you, King of Glory, for everything we will remember him for. The legacy that is unprecedented, the influence he brought to bear, the impact he made, everything, Lord Jesus, you enable him to do on this side of the eternity. We thank you. We ask, Lord, that you take absolute control of all that will be done here, particularly the lesson that you want each and every one of us to take away from here on the transience of life. Please, Lord, let it not just be a gathering, but a platform, an opportunity to learn one or two things. Thank you, Father. As many as are still on their way, bring them safely, and let us depart from here safely as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opening prayer. That was Mr. Ola Makinde. And now we move to the welcome address. This will be done by two wonderful individuals who are seated here with us. To take the lead, please welcome with me Mrs. Semidele Adesoya.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the entire visual arts community of Nigeria, I'd like to welcome you to this evening of tributes for one of our own, Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo, the distinguished son of Oba Feishara, Oba John Feishara Odimayo, the Olofun of Irele, and one who, in all his ways, in his manner, he showed that it was apparent that Omoba Niwon, that he was royalty. Our paths crossed about 40 years ago. Yes, about 40 years ago. And he was a mentor. He was easy to talk to. When our paths crossed, it was in connection with family. But about 8 years after, I caught the bug, the visual arts bug. And he was one of the few people who encouraged me to leave my legal profession and pursue my passion in the arts, because he had done the same. Prince Odimayo it's so difficult to talk about him in the past, because this morning, I'm digressing. This morning, I needed some information. And before ChatGTP, there was Prince Odimayo. And so I was going to say, oh, my big brother Sende, before I realized that he was no more. And so in this room, this evening, by the end of this evening, we'll have a room full of memories, an archive, a museum of some sort, because that's who Prince Odimayo was. He was a connector of people. He had a passion for the visual arts, a passion. You need to have a passion to be in it for 40 years. At a time when there was no technology, at a time when Nigeria, where we had the NITEL, it was the phones and the fax machines, at a time when art was not fashionable as it is today, or when it was not understood only by the expatriates. This was a time when Prince Odimayo came into the visual arts space. And you would know, he would share stories about his younger days in the palace and how he developed a keen eye for the artifacts and the functional art materials, and how he appreciated the talents of the artists. And so from the background of appreciating and celebrating artists who were not known, but whose works were all around him, he moved into the contemporary, to the visual arts, to the space, and he brought that passion into it. And he tried to convince, he was a link between artists, between art collectors, and then it was like a town crier going round, because all this technology that we have today wasn't there. And so Mr. Odimayo, over 40 years, he connected collectors, he supported artists, he supported gallery owners, he helped set up institutions like Visual Arts Society of Nigeria, Art Galleries Association of Nigeria, and we all looked up to him. His home was always welcome. We were always welcome in his home, and he was so knowledgeable. He was like a sponge, always reading, knew so much, and was always ever ready to share of himself. And so tonight, I welcome you all to celebrate, to look back at what he meant. He meant so many things to so many people, and just sit back and enjoy as we listen to tributes and testimonies of what he meant to many of us in this space tonight. So enjoy the evening, and let us continue, to remember our brother, to remember his legacy and to carry on the work. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
I have lived a life of sin in this world I'm living in. I have done forbidden things.
Please, can we give another round of applause to my auntie, Mrs. Simidele Adesonya. For those that do not know, the Treasure House Fine Arts opened in 1982 during the wave of the global wave when the modern African arts appreciation was still gaining global traction. He stood firmly as a champion for indigenous creativity, turning his gallery into a cultural hub for scholars, artists, and international collectors. Please, once again, if your hands are not too busy, can we give the great Prince Olasehinde Odimayo a round of applause? And also to add to what my auntie has done, part of the welcome, allow me to invite a wonderful family member, Mr. Titi Odimayo, as he comes to speak to us.
Place ever known to man. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge.
Good evening, distinguished guests, family members, friends, colleagues, and well-wishers. It is with sadness in my heart, yet with complete submission to the will of the Almighty God, that I warmly welcome you all to this beautiful night of tributes. Today, we have gathered to celebrate the remarkable life, legacy, and achievements of my immediate elder brother, Anna Olori Ebi Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo, who transitioned to eternal glory on June 17, 2026. A night of tributes is more than an event. It is a time to reflect on cherished memories, share heartfelt stories, and honor a life that touched so many. Though we mourn his physical absence, we are also here to celebrate the values he lived by, the lives he impacted, and the legacy he leaves behind. On behalf of the hosts and organizers of this special gathering, I extend a heartfelt welcome to everyone who has come to honor the memory of Olasehinde. Your presence and support means so much to us, and we are truly grateful. As we listen to the tributes and celebrate his life this evening, may we all find comfort, strength, and inspiration in the memories we share. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you for coming. My name is Titilola Odimayo.
All right. Please, can we give my uncle Titi Odimayo another round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. And one other thing that I know there are some persons who are from the Art Galleries Association of Nigeria, AGAN. I know some of us are seated here. We say a very big thank you, like the gentleman over there. We say a very big thank you for honoring this wonderful African treasure. At this point, we'd like to take a very short video which talks about the lives and times of the very distinguished prince. And afterwards, one of his mentees, the very gorgeous Nana, will be coming up. For those of us who do not know Nana Asumwa is a prominent Nigerian art curator, gallery director, and entrepreneur revered as one of the influential women shaping the visual arts landscape in Africa. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the Art Pantheon Limited. It's situated around Oniru, Victoria Island, Lagos. If the video feed is ready, once we do that, then Nana will come take the microphone. Thank you.
I always say to people generally that look, the art and the art. I believe that art is deeply spiritual, not something mundane. I'm Olasehinde Odimayo, and I'm an art consultant with specialty in visual arts, particularly in the area of contemporary modern arts and traditional African arts. One thing I can remember vividly was that by the time I told my older brother that I had to leave him, that I was going to do visual arts, I know that something had happened. I found visual arts because in the meeting I had with him to say goodbye and good luck to him, I remember telling him that I was going to do visual art. I told him that. And I also told, he asked me, he said, look, you want to go do visual art now. Do you think you can succeed on it or survive with visual art? I just told him straight away, I said, look, I found this thing. I have no business plan. I have no feasibility study, but I want to do this thing. And I believe I'll do it to the grade. That's how the visual arts period started in me. It's been 40 years, starting from 1982. When I first met David Dale, who was the first contemporary artist I actually met. As it often happens in art or any endeavor, there's a law of attraction of homogeneous species, which is a natural law. And that is, birds of a feather, they flock together.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nana Asuma. It's a beautiful evening, but it's a bit of an emotional night for me. Because I never would have thought that we'll be talking about Uncle Olasehinde in the past so soon. But it's all good. It's all lovely. The life and times of Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo. Where does one start from? Trying to ascribe the life and times of Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo, the fourth of 36 children born to His Royal Majesty, late Oba J.F. Odimayo Jagbuju the 8th, the Olofun of Irele Kingdom, and late Olori Deborah Demoto Odimayo. To describe this artistic titan and Iroko as an elephant in the room is not an understatement. The prisms, when one comes into contact with the trunk, flapping ears, tail, tusk, among others of an elephant differs. This characterization defined Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo to a large extent, as it meant different things to different people and relevant stakeholders in the society at large and the art ecosystem. He was born on December 2nd, 1949, and lived a remarkable life of 76 years, laden with impact and more. Omoba Olasehinde stood out for his calm, quiet mien, and reserved nature. He possessed a gentle, thoughtful, and composed facade like a badge of honor. Olasehinde Odimayo was privileged to be born into a prosperous and thriving family. His patriarch was a successful timber merchant, an accomplished road and sea transportation entrepreneur. His business empire was widely respected, and his two passenger launches imported from the United Kingdom and operating the Idumago-Lagos Warri Sapele route in the old Midwestern region were named Lady Shoyinka in the honor of the mother of Professor Wole Shoyinka and Olaoluwa. He spent early years in the family home at Oshodi Court near Bangboshe Street, Lagos, where he enjoyed a comfortable upbringing rooted in discipline, culture, strong family values. Olasehinde's early education spanned through government demonstration school, Onitsolo, Surulere, for his primary education. In 1964, his father enrolled both Olasehinde at Manora Memorial Grammar School, Iju Odo, one of the renowned Ionian group of schools. Beyond academic excellence, his father believed strongly that he should remain connected to the esteemed Ikale heritage and culture. From Manual Memorial Grammar School, Olasehinde's exceptional intellect became evident to all and sundry. He consistently ranked among the best students and graduated with an outstanding grade 1 in his school certificate exam. He was equally gifted in sports. He played for the school's first football team, earning admiration and recognition throughout the local community and across Okitipupa Division. He later proceeded to Government College, Warri, for his higher school certificate before gaining admission to the University of Ibadan, where he studied the German language. Following the successful completion of his National Youth Service Corps, Olasehinde began his professional career as administration manager at the Oceanic and Coastal Marine Limited, a company chaired by his late brother, Omoba Oladele Odimayo. Olasehinde Odimayo attended the Art Business program at Sotheby's Institute of Art in London in 1990, where he received professional training in art valuation, curatorial practice, art business, and the international art market and collection management connoisseurship. He was widely recognized as one of the first Black Africans to undertake the specialist program. Through diligence, leadership, Olasehinde steadily rose through the ranks and eventually became the managing director of one of the group's subsidiary companies. In time, he chose to pursue his passion for arts and culture, a field in which he flourished remarkably. His contributions elevated professional standards, inspired excellence, and established a legacy that continues to be celebrated today. In addition, as the head of the Odimayo family, Olasehinde served with dedication, wisdom, and unwavering sense of responsibility. He approached every duty with remarkable attention to detail, fairness, and genuine commitment to the well-being of the family. He was dependable, principled, and deeply respected. Indeed, he was a leader par excellence. On this day, as we pay respect to his illustrious life and times, his life was one defined by the values of purpose, service, excellence, and honor. Though his passage to the great beyond has left a void that cannot easily be filled, we are comforted by the remarkable legacy he left behind, a legacy of integrity, leadership, scholarship, and unwavering commitment to family and the art community. Olasehinde, you lived well. You will never be forgotten. You came, saw, and conquered. Your name is etched in gold, and your legacy speaks well by miles. Sunryo Omoba Olasehinde Odimayo, you served faithfully. You made an enduring impact. Journey well to a better place. You will forever remain in our hearts, and your memory will continue to inspire generations to come. May your gentle soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Amen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard one of Prince Odimayo's mentees. She began her career in the art industry under the mentorship of the founder, Prince Olasehinde Odimayo, an experience that heavily expanded her understanding of African arts. She spent 13 years with him, managing client relationships and art consignments for one of West Africa's leading auction houses. Currently, she kickstarted her own arts center, the Art Pantheon, in 2020 up until now, which runs excellently, which oversees art exhibitions, specialized art consulting, professional art handling, logistics, and art documentation. Please, if your hands are not too busy, please can we give Nana another round of applause, I beg of you. Before we go into the tributes, I want to crave the indulgence of everyone seated here. For about 30, 40 seconds, I need you to just stand to your feet with me. Let's give a round of applause to the life of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo in celebration of this wonderful icon of Africa. Please, if your hands are not too busy, for the next 40 seconds, let's keep clapping. Can we make it louder? Prince, we love you. We honor you. Continue to rest in peace. God bless everyone that is connected to you. Can we make it louder, a bit louder? Thank you so much. Please, you may be seated. Thank you so much. We'll move on with tributes. We'll be taking live tributes here. Some persons' names are penciled down already, while some persons who joined it virtually, we're streaming theirs across this ceremony. Permit me to invite the first person to speak to us, Mr. Joe Obiago. Please, can we give a round of applause to Mr. Joe Obiago? Let's keep clapping till it gets here, I beg of you.
Would it not have been wiser to do the ones straight to get that straight?
That's why we're taking the physical one first.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let me first say a deep condolence and sympathy to the family of Olasehinde Odimayo. Please accept my deepest sympathy and condolences. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still trying to come to terms with the loss of our dear friend, brother, mentor, industry or community of arts and culture. Words still fail me to accept and completely process the weight of our loss. Through the course of this evening, you would hear all the, shall I say, hard facts and catalog and credentials of our dear friend and brother, Olasehinde Odimayo. I would like to focus more on the aspects, the more personal aspects of his life and his person that I lived and witnessed over the last 35 or 40 years ago. In Olasehinde Odimayo, we gained many advantages and many benefits. I speak here on behalf of the community of the arts and culture space. Many of our gains have been espoused and will be espoused this evening and will also be documented. So we are very thankful for Omoba Odimayo's legacy. His memory shall be a blessing to us and remain a blessing to everyone in this room and generations yet to come. Indefinite, I am laden with heaviness and the concern of what we have lost in the passing of Olasehinde Odimayo. It will be a challenge for us individually and as a community to do something constructive to replace or to fill the void that his absence will create. And there are three aspects of it I would like to highlight or to point attention to. The first is that we have lost a friend and a mentor and a guide. My dear sister, Auntie Simidele, already spoke about his friendship, as did Nana, speaking about his mentorship. I met Olasehinde in about 86 or 1987, 40 years ago now. I used to go frequently to the home of the late art master, Professor Ben Nwanwu. I happen to have the good fortune of being connected to Ben Nwanwu through my late father. They were classmates or schoolmates at Federal Government College in the Umuahia in the 30s. And once I met the great prof, and he invited me to his home at Ikoyi Crescent. I was a young banker then. I would go to his house on a Saturday or Sunday and just marvel at his works. I was then an aspirant art collector. I wasn't earning enough to afford an Nwanwu, but I was ambitious. And the old prof will sit me down and he'll be sipping his grey tea with his morning coat, and we'll be looking out to the lake or lagoon behind his house, and he will be on the easel and working. In one of those few occasions, Olasehinde Odimayo will visit, because he was then actively in the art space. And another gentleman who did back in that time as well was Afolabi Kofa Abayomi. That was where I met both of them. And his friendship then struck up. A friendship that started from there till where we are today. I found Olasehinde to be a very kind man and a quiet man. Kindness stems from anybody who is willing to give of himself. Olasehinde always did that. He gave of himself. His time, his knowledge, his resources. Olasehinde was extremely generous and rich and kind in that manner. He mentored my art collection my art collecting from that time to this day. And we went from his area of expertise to just pure, simple, and heartfelt friendship. Olasehinde represented light. We all know he was a very spiritual person and a man of faith. He represented light. He represented palettes of colors. He represented passion. And that is why I'm dressed the way I am today. Because I woke up and I wanted to wear a navy blue kaftan to be in mourning, but that's not the spirit of Olasehinde. That's why I wore this paletted muddy jacket and my Niger Delta hat, as well as my akwacha. I'm from Asaba. And that is to show a mark of respect to his nobility. I also come from nobility. Olasehinde and I stayed friends. Whether it was to share a piece of artwork with me, or I found an interesting piece of work, more than likely the great modernists, Nwanwu or a Grillo or an Osawe or something of that nature. I will call him and he will show up and we will look at the work. Not only did he give critical commentary and curatorial work, he was an expert provenancer, and authenticator. And Olasehinde will perform this free of charge, so to speak, because it was actually came from the spirit and from his passion. In Europe, people pay thousands and thousands of pounds or millions and millions of naira equivalent just to come and view a work and give you an opinion. Olasehinde just did this freely and enjoyed doing it over a cup of tea or coffee or just a glass of water. And he will tell you outright and upfront that this is a fake or it is a genuine work, and he'll comment on it. We had many escapades. We had many things I can recall. I remember when he attended the Biennale in Senegal and left a series of beautiful Osawe works, Ben Osawe works, with his friend and mentor, Tiam. And Tiam kept this for 10 years or so. One day, Olasehinde came to me and said, look, I have this work sitting there. And it just so happened that I had some friends who were going to Dakar and were using a private jet. 2 weeks later, all Olaseinde's works arrived to my home intact in a private jet, and it cost nothing. It was a sort of divine grace as I saw it back then. Olasehinde was just an epitome and embodiment of kindness. He was very wily, very worldly, but he had a lot of grace and he had no guile, as it were. He was honest, he was upfront, he was very, very sincere and very high integrity in his dealings. He once brokered a work that turned out to be a counterfeit of a master's work. Olasehinde took responsibility. And actually, his older brother, his Egbon, Omoba Odimayo, was still living then. He went to his older brother and procured an authentic work of this master and brought it in replacement and did not bother going after the cheat who actually deceived us. That was the height of his integrity. And he suffered the loss or losses in millions of naira back then. This was more than 15 or 20 years ago. In fact, it was that singular incident that cemented our friendship. And we took it from there and went on and on. The second aspect I would like to speak on is already what Auntie Simidele talked about just now. And this has to do with the loss of institutional knowledge and memory. Odimayo was a walking and living encyclopedia of Nigerian art history. Traditional art, modern art, and contemporary art. Visual art, that is. Olasehinde was an art dealer, a gallerist, a curator, art critic, expert witness, or provenancer, as I said, authenticator, validator. of all the foremost modernists in Nigeria, starting with Benenwong, Ben Osawe, Yusuf Grillo, and a host of other important modernist artists, Damas Nwoko, etc., and so on. The community, the industry has really, really lost a body of knowledge. For our continuity, we are going to need people who will fill the void, who will fill the space with the exit of our friend and big expert in the field. The third is that we have lost an institutional or institution builder. You heard the references. He was either a founding member or motivator or activist in some form or the other with the creation of AGAN, the Association of Galleries of Nigeria. We were, or VASON. Many of the VASON members are now long gone. I remember them of blessed memory, Chief Rashid Badamosi, and a host of many that we know. We were also with him at the Benenwonwo Foundation. I'm still in the foundation, but many of the people who were there with us are all gone. And Shende is now also gone. It's just me and Oliver and Nwanwa, and I don't know how many other people left. Shende supported, promoted, and worked for all the various pillars and institutions in the art community. We are going to miss that. We have a void because many people have moved on by natural causes or even by effluence of time and age. They have become less active. So we need people to come into that space. So Nana, this is an alarm bell for you to start stepping into the big shoes of your mentor and former boss. I would like to, on my own, make a commitment by making a public disclosure today. Sometime after COVID, 2021, 2021-22, Shenda approached me and gave me a responsibility. Shende probably has, outside of the many Nwanwu scholars, most of the most practical library of Nwanwu works. He had a long life professional ambition to catalog or prepare what we call catalog of Nwanwu's works. And he was already having a few health challenges. And he came to me and said, Joe, I want to leave this with you. He brought what seemed like 2 massive cartons filled with all manners of writings, books, research materials, everything for this book he had been preparing for a lifetime. And I regret to say that I kept it through COVID. I was in a very dark space at the time, having lost my two older brothers, Egbons, within a space of 17 months, and was coming back from COVID. And I was very, very disillusioned with Nigeria, with art, and so many things about life. Seeing how ephemeral, seeing how fleeting life could be. So I kept all of Shende's treasures in my study room, and it stayed there for nearly 2 years. Shende traveled to America to reconnect with his dear friend. He went to Europe, UK, then to the US to visit with his friend Tiam, and then returned in 2023, called me, and we planned a Saturday visit when I normally eat akara. And we ate akara, and I returned every stitch of the materials he left with me intact. And I apologized to him that I just didn't have the emotional space to handle what he wanted me to do. I believe those writings are still in his house, and I want to make a public commitment and undertaking that post his demise, I would do that project. I will do it. I want to be held to book and to account for that. So Nana, please, we will kick off immediately when every of this thing is settled. I will carry out the wishes of Olasehinde Odimayo. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Please, once again, can we give Mr. Joe Biago another round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. I remember when I met the great Prince Olasehinde Odimayo at the Art Pantheon's exhibition in Lagos. And he pointed an artwork to me and told me the worth of that artwork. I told him that, sir, the amount placed on this artwork is enough to buy my village. Artworks they are treasures that you can invest in as well. Apart from other investing in stocks, shares, and all that, but artworks, please, if you invest in artworks, you would definitely not regret it in any way. That's why I want to let us know that you can always take a walk to the Art Pantheon. It's somewhere in Oniru, Victoria Island, just behind us here, owned by Nana herself. I know that we have some people that joined in virtually. Can we take someone virtually? Is Kunle Ogunbufumi ready? While we're waiting for Kunle Ogunbufumi, please allow me to invite Mr. Sheye Aluko to come give his tribute. Please, can we give the gentleman a round of applause, please? Kunle can hold on for about a minute or two.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I feel very flattered to be asked to speak to all of you about our great friend, Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. I do not remember when I met him. It seems as though I have been living with him all my life. And he was an encyclopedia of art. Chinese art, American art, African art. He just filled all this with ease. He had a first degree in German, and he later switched to the arts. And he was at my exhibition in 1986. People were always very much at ease in his presence. Whether you were a Christian, a fetish observer, a pagan, a born again, he always had a way of making you at ease. I was very close to him, and I knew all his desires. He wanted to form a library. He had been buying books on art from all over the world, and he wanted to form them into a library. He also wanted to extend his gallery at Iju, and I had discussions with him that he should move his gallery to Lagos or the University of Lagos, where it would be more accessible to the greater population. But he was very firm in his interest in having this attitude. The last thing that he wanted to do was that he wanted to collect his writings into a book of memoirs. He had already begun this quest before he passed on. And he willed all his artworks to his children. So I know that Mr. Odimayo was a very, very busy person. He had all these dreams for his artworks. I also told him that it would be important for him if all his artworks were made into a museum, because there are so many, and they really could not be contained in his museum at Iju. So he and I were very much in discussion as to what the legacy would be of all his artworks. And I hope that his benefactors, all his, like Nana and Mrs. Adesanya, should think very carefully as to how his works can be displayed and in which environment. So we all are very moved by the fact that he has departed. But he and I were very friendly. And I am something of a dreamer myself. Sometimes I have dreams about some of my friends, and some of the dreams might seem very ridiculous. But I have to say that if I have a dream about you, I have to tell you about the dream, no matter how stupid it seems. And I had a dream about Mr. Olasehinde Odimayo about 2 years ago. And it was not a very pleasant dream. But when you are a dreamer, you have to deliver your dream to the person who you dreamt about. So I said to Olasehinde, look, I had a dream about you. I saw people in your house and they were signing a condolence register. So Olasehinde is very gentlemanly like. He didn't comment and I did not comment, and we all let it pass there. But I just was very surprised that I heard that he had an operation and he did not take very kindly to that operation. And we all miss him very greatly. So I would like to say that we have had a very, very instructive and admirable association with Olasehinde Odimayo. He has been a very great influence to the art world in Lagos, Nigeria, Britain, America, in Europe. His memory will be etched in stone for every person who knew him, and we hope that his works will not be forgotten. So I want to thank you all for listening to me. And although it is very emotional, I'd like to thank Sandy for all he has given to all of us. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Please, can we give the good friend and brother, Mr. Sheye Aluko, another round of applause, I beg of you. Thank you so much, sir, for making our time to be with us here and to honor the wonderful memory of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. I believe Kunle Ogunbufumi is ready now.
Yes, I am. If you can hear me.
Hello, Mr. Kunle.
I saw him in the hospital. He looked healthy to me, and I had seen him last on Independence Day. I went to visit him, and I had the honor and privilege of meeting Auntie Adesanya at his house that day, as well as my good friend Jude Ben. Everything was just coincidental. So
Very big thank you for coming to honor a very, very distinguished treasure of Africa within the firmament of the arts culture. Right now, before I take another virtual, tribute, allow me to invite to the microphone Miss Jane Rogers to come speak to us. Miss Jane Rogers, if you're here, can you just please make your way to the microphone? Please, can we give her a round of applause, please?
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for honoring our dear father, boss, today. I feel very and deeply honored to stand before you to pay a tribute to my dear friend, boss, mentor, and a father figure, Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. I remembered on 18th of January when we were in the hospital. That was a day before his surgery. He was on a hospital bed, and then I was sharing an event that transpired to him. And I spoke a bad English. And he paused to say, "No, Jane, it's like this." And I was marveled, and I was like, "Daddy, you're on a hospital bed and you're correcting my English." He said, "Yes, I will always correct you. I'll always correct you. I'm here to always correct you." And I strongly believe he will always be there to correct me. Today, I want to remember a man whose greatest passion was preserving history, nurturing and supporting talents, and being a voice to the unheard. Uncle Sinde, I met him, I think in 2017 or 2018, through one of the veterans in the entertainment industry, late Auntie Anna Kankara Mohammed. He worked on a project on Nok culture from Southern Kaduna. He was on that project, that project was put together by Professor J.P. Clark. And he worked with her to spotlight and showcase the history of my people, the Southern Kaduna people, the Nok culture. And today I want to say a big thank you. I want to say we are indebted to you, Daddy Sinde, for spotlighting my people, despite not being from Southern Kaduna, despite being a Southerner. And as a proud daughter of Southern Kaduna, I want to say your memory will never be forgotten. And that great fiat will always be remembered. Thank you, Daddy Sinde. On 10th, I think, was it? No, December 24th. I just woke up to a message simply saying, "Madam Jane, where have you been?" And thereafter, we had a phone conversation. And the next day, on a Christmas day, I was already on my way to Lagos. That singular conversation brought me to Lagos. And when he visited after my arrival, I shared with him my intention to get a paid employment. And a few days later, he called me to say, "Jane, I'm offering you a job in my gallery." At some point, I was battling between acceptance. I told him I needed time to think about it. But the day I made up my mind to pick up that job was on 10th of January. After receiving a call from him, he sent a message that I'm in a hospital. And I replied by saying, "Is it for appointment or what exactly?" So he said, "No, very ill." And in my head, in fact, my reply was, "I'm sorry, I should be checking up on you regularly." And I went for an audition. And because I'm an actress, well, I do acting part-time, and I needed a job to augment my income. So he tried to introduce me to one or two persons to support my career. And amongst the people he introduced me to were Auntie Lily and Ama Aluko. So she shared some auditions. And I was at that audition. I had to leave to join him at Marigold Hospital. We were there from, I think, morning till through evening. I saw the pains. I saw what he was going through. I couldn't help. I joined him to the house that day. And it was at that moment I made up my mind that I was going to work with him because I knew he needed somebody by his side. And I think after that day, his appointment was on a Monday. He told me he was not going to go until Tuesday. And that Monday, he also sent another message saying he was already in the hospital. And that was the day I met Uncle Bode at the hospital at Marigold. You know, Uncle Sende, the first day I resumed to work, he paid half of my salary. The first day I resumed to work with him. I've shared from the brochure my experience, how he had helped my businesses and everything. And aside being kind to me, he was kind to countless of people. I remembered there's a lady, Ini, from Ibadan. She was meant to join us on 21st, and he was in the hospital on 19th. She was to come to Lagos for 2 weeks training, all sponsored by him. This lady dropped out of school because she was harassed by a lecturer in the university. And that they encouraged her to go back to school. She got admission in Open University. And he used his friends, he reached out to some of his friends and colleagues to support her. He usually would buy her works just to encourage her. And then he sent her a message to come to Lagos. He was meant to introduce her to bigwigs in the art industry to support her career. And then unfortunately, by 19, he was in the hospital and thereafter went into coma. I want to say, Uncle Sende, I remembered he was paying, he enrolled his housemate in a computer school, and then he was also paying her child's school fees till his last moment. Sometimes when I look at his phones, I see messages. I see hopes that were shattered by his health condition. I just couldn't help but to break in tears. A lot of people will call, they will send messages, because by the grace of God, I was in possession of his phones. And sometimes these people will call. You could genuinely see that their lives were dependent on this man. Some will send account details of their children, school fees. And unfortunately, he's not there to help them through. And these are things he had consistently been doing for many years. I want to say a big thank you to Uncle Sende for his kindness towards millions of people, both young and old. Today, I can't just end without thanking every person who stood by Daddy Sende from the moment he was in coma through his final burial. The calls, the care, the donations was overwhelming. I know wherever Daddy Sende is right now, he sees and he appreciates all your magnanimity. And to the organizers of this noble event, Auntie Nana, Auntie Simi, Uncle Kaide Adegbola, and everyone who contributed to making this a reality, I say a big thank you to you all. This is deeply humbling. This is exactly what Daddy Sende wished for. As a historian, he wanted to be remembered. He wanted to make history after he's gone. And today, you have made history in his honor. I say a big thank you to you. I would also like to appeal to everyone here to come together to make his dream of the continuation of his gallery and museum a reality. He didn't just want to be forgotten, he wants to be remembered for something. He shared with me how a lot of people have encouraged him to send his works to University of Lagos State University. But he wanted his name to continue, and he wanted to continue with his gallery. So I want to appeal to everyone in the arts industry to ensure that this becomes a reality for him so that he can continue to smile wherever he is. And lastly, I want to appeal to the Ogun State government to immortalize Prince Olasehinde Odimayo for his noble contribution to bringing the art gallery to Ogun State and for being instrumental in supporting artists and talent, both in the art and in the entertainment industry. Thank you, and may the soul of Daddy Sainde continue to rest in peace. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good evening. God bless you all.
Please, can we give another round of applause to Jane Rogers, one of the mentees of Uncle Sainde. Beyond the art world, Uncle Sainde cared for people, loved people, supported people, not exclusively but inclusively, without borders. Once again, can we celebrate the life of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo with a round of applause, I beg of you. The next tribute will be coming from Mr. Kayode Adegbola. Please, can we give him a round of applause as he makes his way to the microphone?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kayode Adegbola, and I was, I don't know if I can say Aburo, I'll say I was his son in some way or the other. He was very dear to me. I wish we knew each other for a much longer time. I have a published tribute, so I'll just say 4 things that I remember vividly. The first is that he was a good human being. And on top of that, a royal. Such a wonderful combination. Mr. Prince or Omoba Odimayo was a gentleman in every sense of the word. And he was graceful, even in disagreement, and always encouraged contrary opinions. The second is that he gave generously of his knowledge and of his resources. Every opportunity to sit with him meant that I would learn something new or be given one piece of vintage literature or the other. On one occasion, we were talking about material regarding one artist, and I can't remember which artist it was today. And he said to me, Mr. K, in his deep, assured voice. He always called me Mr. K. They are all there in the house. You are always in a hurry whenever you come by. Now, whenever I'm in a hurry, I remember his words and I slow down my pace. I think it was difficult to explain to him that at my age, I'm always in a hurry. The third thing is that he meticulously kept records of everything. If you had a transaction with him, he will email you an invoice. And his invoices were not particularly word processed or anything, but it will have all the essentials of an invoice. So it will have a description, it will have the monetary value, and of course, it will have the account information. He not only collected art, but he collected catalogs, books, other literature, and information that could change the fortunes of any above-average dealer. Prince Odimayo would give you something that literally would double the value of what you had for sale just because he knew where to point, what direction to point you in. So I thank him for that, for adding to both my knowledge and my pocket. Thank you, sir. The last thing is that his legacy is forever. And his legacy is forever through his investments in people, through his contributions to the Nigerian art history canon, and in the hearts of those he loved and who loved him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Truly, his legacy is forever. I will be inviting Moses Oyomohare next, and afterwards I'll invite Mrs. Semidele Adesoya once again to the microphone, and Nana Asuma afterwards. Please, for now, welcome with me Mr. Moses Oyomohare. Okay, I'm told that he stepped out, I believe. Or are we taking him virtually? So I'm told that he will join us a lot later. Please allow me to invite Biodun Omolayo to the microphone, please. Can we give the gentleman a round of applause, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ojogbo Biodun Omolayo. Because some people call me Abiodun, but that's not my name. A lot of people don't know this. I met Olasehinde Odimayo over 20 years ago. I was still in the banking industry, but I love the arts. So I'll leave my office in Victoria Island, and I'll be searching for places where they're having exhibitions or art galleries. So I just stumbled on his gallery on Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, and a treasure house. So I went in there. I greeted him. He didn't know me, but he welcomed me very well. And you would think that he has known me for years. And then I saw some other artists there, the way he was attending to them. And let me say this, because I don't think, a lot of people have said a lot of beautiful things about him. He's a man of style. He dresses very well. If he wanted to wear casual, he wear very well. So when I saw him there, what he was wearing, I fell in love with. I was wearing my jacket and tie then, but I fell in love with him. I sat down there, he was talking, lecturing people, some other artists who were there. And that was the first time of meeting him. I didn't introduce myself, I didn't say anything. And later I walked out of the place. As God would have it later, I resigned from the banking industry. And since I didn't study art, I started to go back to the art school because I love the arts. Just like him, I went back to Yaba College of Technology. I spent the years there studying art. And then, because I went to a gallery, there was a work I did in 1987. I wanted to showcase that work. I went to a particular gallery. The gallery said, "What is your name?" And I mentioned my name. Said, "Your name is not known. We only deal with known names here." Wow. That was a big blow to me. And then I said, I get him off the place, and I said, that would be the last time I would take my work to any art gallery. And I asked myself a question: what does it take to start a gallery? Part of the people I studied were Olasehinde Odimayo without even knowing at all. Fast forward, I started the gallery, and then when the Art Gallery Association of Nigeria was about to be formed, I happened to be a founding member. Olasehinde was always there, quietly sit down, mentor everybody, talk to you, tell you what to do. But one thing about him is that he was very honest. If you saw anything wrong, he will correct in a very quiet way. He will call you aside and said, "No, this thing should not be done this way. You are the young ones. These are the way this thing should be done." You know, when later, anytime, a few years back, somebody said, he said, as if he knew that he would soon leave. He would come around and sit down. So I said, "Biodu, you guys should take this thing seriously. I've played my part, but if you should take it seriously, make sure that this thing is done properly all the time." Anytime he came around, he would say that. And one thing, most time when we are having meetings, the Art Gallery Association of Nigeria meeting, he would either be the first person to get to the meeting. And I never knew where he was staying then. The day I knew where he was coming from, I said, wow. We didn't have any reason not to be there on time if he was staying at that end and would come for the meeting on time. He was that kind of a person. He was a wonderful man, very caring person, very honest, and he would do things for everyone without thinking about money. He would take his time to lecture if you come around. If there's any work at all that we want to sell any work, we are arguing about it. I say, let's call Uncle Sende Odimayo. Once you give it, I will tell you, teach you, tell you about the work and say, this is how it is. I will tell you whether it's genuine or not. He was that kind of a man. Like I put in my tribute, he is an encyclopedia of contemporary art in Nigeria. If, as an artist or a gallery owner, if there's any artist that you have not met, if you speak to Uncle Sende Odimayo, he will lecture you and tell you. In fact, you'll be taking notes without looking at anything. That's why I call him an encyclopedia of Nigerian art. And again, I'm happy that somebody like Nana came from his table. That means the legacy continues. And I want to thank everyone, Auntie Simi, and others who put this thing together. It deserves this and much more. My own encouragement is that we should not forget him. He was a very good man, wonderful person. When he was dealing, he wasn't thinking about money. He really loved the arts, genuinely. And every time he came around, he just say, Omolayo, ẹ má jẹ́ kí kinní yìí ọwọ́ yín ló wà. Ẹ̀yin lẹ mo fi lẹ̀ fún yín, do this thing. He was always concerned as if he knew that he would soon go. May his soul rest in peace. Really miss him. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, can we give another round of applause to Ojogbogbo Biodun Omolayo? Please, can we make the applause a louder one? I beg of you. I'm going to invite Mrs. Semidele Adesonya to speak to us for the next few minutes. And afterwards, we're going to take a collection of songs that are loved by Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. Please, once again, can we give Mrs. Semidele Adesonya a round of applause as she makes her way to the podium.
Good evening once again. This is what happens when you don't work with the script. I was asked to give a welcome address and I started giving a tribute. So I'll just read out the tribute in the book, in the tribute book. I met Brother Sende, as we fondly called him, in the early 1980s. Our shared passion for the arts later drew us together. At a time when running art galleries was not popular and technology was virtually non-existent, we both stepped out in faith to set up our galleries. He and his partners set up Something Special Gallery, and when it folded up, he set up Treasure House Gallery. It was a challenging terrain, but he walked it with courage. His love for art was deep and inclusive. He appreciated the gift in artists, traditional, often unknown artists, as well as modern and contemporary artists, and he celebrated them all. Beyond the business of art, he was a relationship builder. Generations of artists, old and young, found a friend in him. Generations of art collectors too, and generations of gallery owners. I was looking at the videos and remembering going down memory lane, remembering our meetings in Mr. Lagbaju's, the late Mr. Samuel Lagbaju's house with late Chief Rashid Badamosi, and a host of other art collectors and art enthusiasts. He was an active and committed member of VASAN, Visual Art Society of Nigeria, founded by the late Mr. Samuel Lagbaju, and was also a pillar in AGAN, Art Galleries Association of Nigeria. We always looked forward to our meetings because we left better, wiser, and inspired after having him in our midst. He worked tirelessly to promote the development of the visual arts in Nigeria. The history of art in this country would be incomplete without a mention of his name. He was knowledgeable, inquisitive, and generous with what he knew, like a sponge absorbing information about the arts and ever willing to share. He would drop by my dream gallery just to share ideas and encourage when the business felt uncertain. He was our chat GPT long before chat GPT, a living encyclopedia, a custodian of culture, a lover of the arts. We art enthusiasts look forward to the informal gatherings in his home, where we were always warmly received. The hours would stretch into long, happy conversations, and there'll be hot meals of pounded yam and vegetable stew. I remember the last meeting, you know how everyone just comes in without an appointment. It's a phone call, "Boss, are you home?" And then we set out, "Nibolowa, Obalende, Higo, I'll be waiting for you." And on this particular day, the last time we had that meeting, I was happy to, that was where I met Mr. Kunle, his nephew, and there was Mr. Jide, Bello, and Shinwali. They were there, and we had a good afternoon, many conversations, happy conversations, learning so much. In his quiet, dignified manner, it was clear he was a prince. I never saw him lose his temper, or shall I say, I never saw him lose his temper as I would lose mine. And he'll go, "Oh, I was very, very angry." I would say, "Brother, you don't describe that you are angry. You show it, you know. You don't say, 'I was angry, I was furious.' People will see that you are angry, you don't act it." And I go, "Shetibinu Tononi." He was a wonderful man. We thank God for his impactful life, his legacy of service, mentorship, love for the arts, and for the beautiful, beautiful memories he created. Surreal, Brother Sandy, you'll always be remembered.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, can you give Manti Simidelo a round of applause? I beg of you. Uncle Shainde is a big fan, is a huge fan of an American iconic music legend known by the name James Travis Reeves. We all know him as James Reeves. For the next 5 minutes, please, I need us to please sit back and enjoy these few songs that will be played, and also use the moment to also reflect on our personal relationships with Uncle Shainde at every point in our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, enjoy for the next 5 minutes, Jim Reeves.
I have heard of a land on a faraway strand. 'Tis a beautiful home of the soul.
You can see that he has taken
built by Jesus on high. There we never shall die. 'Tis a land where
no, you never joined. So he literally created this. Yes. Yes.
Never grow old.
He never joined anything.
Never grow old. In a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old.
You know what
Never grow old. In a land where we'll never grow old.
Motion.
When our work here is done, and the life crown is won, and our troubles and trials are o'er, all our sorrow will end, and our voices will bloom with the loved ones who've gone on before. Never grow old, never grow old in a land where we'll never grow old. Never grow old, never grow old in a land where we'll lived a life of sin. In this world I'm living in, I have done forbidden things I shouldn't do. I asked a beggar along the way if he could tell me where to stay, where I could find real happiness and love that's true. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again.
That's it, the way he took out the figures from the panel. Yes.
Follow the footsteps of the King till you hear the voices ring. They'll be singing out the glory of the land. The river Jordan will be near. The sound of trumpets you will hear, and you'll behold the most precious place ever known to man. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother just over in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Just over in glory land we'll live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Their songs of sweetest praise drift back from heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. When my way groweth drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my work is all done and my race here is run, let me see by the light thou hast shone that fair city so bright where the Lamb is the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. I'd rather have Jesus than silver or gold. I'd rather be his than have riches untold. I'd rather have Jesus than houses or land. I'd rather be led by his nail-pierced hand than to be the king of a vast domain and be held in sin's dread sway. I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. I'd rather have Jesus than worldly applause. I'd rather be faithful to his dear cause. I'd rather have Jesus than worldwide fame. Yes, I'd rather be true to his holy name than to be the king of a vast domain and be held in sin's dread sway. I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today.
Thank you very much. If your hands are not too busy, can we give the life and times of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo a round of applause, please? You know, hearing those songs just reminds me of my own father. Wakes us up on Sunday morning with Kenny Rogers. He does that till about 11:30, 12 noon, and we're like, Daddy, aren't you tired of these songs? But interestingly, I've grown older, so I'm beginning to enjoy Kenny Rogers myself. Jim Reeves, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, right? Yeah, I'm beginning to enjoy those country music. Maybe because my system is beginning to calm down. Like, guy, you don't need all this bang bang dim dim from Davido and co. I'm not saying they are bad, but you just get to that point. Sometimes you want to enjoy something cool, and those songs get to fill in that void. Allow me to specially recognize a brother to Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. He's a member of the Federal House of Representatives representing Irele Okitipupa Federal Constituency. Please welcome with me Honorable Ekunjimi Odimayo. Please, can we give him a big, big round of applause? I saw him outside a few minutes ago. You're most welcome, sir. We're honored to have you here. We'll take more tributes now that will be read by, if we're taking three, that will be read by three individuals who are present here. Allow me once again to invite Nana. She will be taking the tribute of Kayode Oyetunde. Can we encourage her with a round of applause as she makes her way here? Interestingly, Madam Nana is a fashion designer. She's wearing one of her labels. She has refused to do the male collection. We are waiting. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. So before I quickly read Uncle Kayode Oyetunde's tribute, everybody has said so many lovely things about Uncle Sandy, but there's a part nobody has touched, and I will touch it. I remember when my path crossed with Uncle Sandy in Ibadan. I met him on the same day as Uncle Kayode Oyetunde. They had come to look for the late Chief Oloruntoba's works. And Chief Oloruntoba and I were neighbors. So they met me. We had a little chat, and they met my immediate younger sister, Buki. They discovered that Buki was also an artist. So they said, "Oh, can we see your works?" And my sister was so reserved and very quiet. She could barely say her name. So my mother prompted me, "Nana, you can talk. Come on, help your sister." So, of course, I'm a hot pepper. So I went ahead. I did all the talking. Anyway, they bought all the works that my sister had on that day. And that was the beginning of my relationship with Uncle Sandy Odimayo. The rest, they say, is history. He called me the following day and said, "I'd like you to come and work with me in my gallery." Then I looked at him like, I mean, did I tell you I wanted to work in a gallery? At that time, I was a school teacher. I was working in the nursery school somewhere on Adeniyi Jones. And I'm very spiritual. I'm very playful, but I'm very spiritual. And at that time, I was praying that I needed a leading from the God to tell me whether it was time for me to move on from that school, because there were a couple of things I didn't like. Anyway, so when Uncle Sandy offered me this job on a platter of gold that I did not write an application for, I grabbed it. I came to Uncle Sandy and we started off on 8A Ogundano Street off Allen Avenue. Then the Wahala started. Uncle Sandy will be so cranky. I will ask Uncle, I didn't have art training. My background was in public administration, not fine art. And I will gently go to my boss, "Sir, who is this artist? and he will flare up. Nana, learn to read, learn to study. You must do these things on your own. I don't have to tell you every time. Then I will enter one corner and start crying that, hey, I have entered this one chance. Hey, where am I going from here? The school that I left, I did plenty younger before I left. How am I going to go back? Where am I going forward to? Hey. So I'll call his friend in Ibadan. Okay, they come and warn your friend. Okay, they will say, Nana, it's okay. Don't worry. He's training you. I didn't realize what he was doing, really. But Uncle Sandy pushed me to that point where I am today. He brought the best out of me. He will come into the office and tell me, I'm German trained. And so, should the world end if you're German trained? And then I started studying art on my own. So whenever he was not in the gallery, I'll take the paintings. I started with Benewon. So I'll line up 2, 3, 4, 5 Benewon paintings, and I'll start looking at the similarities. Uncle Sende taught me to note, to write and jot. He told me one day, he said, there's nothing you ever write with your hand that you will ever forget. You can read a whole book and forget, but if you write it, you will never forget. So I started writing. I'll write the similarities. I started studying the signature. I realized Benewon had about 3, 4 signatures. Am I wrong? Titi? Uncle Joe? So I will now go to him with my note. Uncle Sandy, how come this artist had 3, 4 signatures? So how do I know which one is fake? And then he started to tutor me, and we became best of friends. But before we became best of friends, we had one hot pepper afternoon. He started again, shouting, yelling at me. So I made up my mind that today, we will settle this cause right now. So he screamed and I yelled. Ha! Oh, shock. Man, he was like, oh my. I said, sir, I came to work. If work is not going on well, let me go back to my house. You cannot come and kill me with emotional blackmail. You don't do. Then Uncle Sandy broke down in tears. I cried. He was crying, I was crying. He was crying, I was crying in the office. So he narrated a couple of things to me. And that day, I said, don't worry. We will settle this matter. I said, give me your phone. He gave me the phone. I ransacked his phone, picked some numbers, made some phone calls. And life became beautiful afterwards. Omoba called me one day and said, Nana, what did you do to my brother? And I said, how, sir? Like what? He said, now my brother is happy. He said, are you dating him? I said, he's too old for me. I cannot. I said, because by the time I'm thinking of buying a Birkins, this man is thinking of building one foundation. By the time I want to go to the movies, this man is looking the other way. No, he's too old. I beg. I know they do. But Uncle Sandy became my best friend. Ever since I met him, we spoke every day till he died. We spoke every day. I met the best of humans around Uncle Sandy, through Uncle Sandy. Uncle Joe, thank you. Thank you. You've been, before I realized Uncle Joe and I were even related, I met him through Uncle Sandy. A refined man that speaks correct English. He will come with English, with his wife. When they start English like this, you will question your own grammar. But thank you for being you, Uncle Joe. I met Titi. I met Oliver. I met everybody through Uncle Sandy. I met one man that my life is never complete without, Dr. Remioni. Thank you very much. He's always hiding. Don't worry. I won't pull him out. But I met Dr. Drew, Uncle Sandy. I've met the most beautiful human beings through Uncle Sandy. Uncle Sunday gave me wings to fly, and I'm flying. I remember when I told Uncle Sunday, when I first started work with Art House Contemporary Limited, and it was the first and foremost auction house in Nigeria. And I told Mrs. Chilaram, I said, this team is not going to be complete without somebody. He said, who? I said, Mr. Odimayo. She said, why? I said, you're going to run into troubles. You spend all the money you make from art on litigation if you don't have this man in our team. He's the only one who can tell us whether we're featuring a fake work or we're about to enter Bege. So we'll be better pull him in. And I called Uncle Sunday and I said, Uncle Sunday, you're going to work with me. He said, Nana. And he went quiet. And we became partners in crime. We would do everything together. But the night he called me, the night before the surgery, he called me. No, in December, I had called him to remind him about my gallery's 5 years anniversary, Uncle Joe. And he said, oh, Nana, I won't be able to make it. And I said, Kileso? He said, you know this back pain, I'm in pain. I said, Uncle Sunday, I don't care. I'll give you Tylenol. You will come. I can't have that anniversary without you. He said, Nana, Otobi lowo mi o. I said, yes, Emma Bo. So he came. I felt horrible when I saw Uncle Sunday. He could barely sit. He could barely stand. If he stood for 5 minutes, George will. Do you remember? If he sat for 5 minutes, he would get up. He was trying to find a comfortable position. And I wish I knew what was wrong with Uncle Sunday that day. If I knew, Uncle would have been alive today. I should have probed a little further, but I did not. And he called me. December was beautiful for Uncle Sunday and I. Coyote, you remember? We had an amazing December. We did transactions. Casa. We made money. Hey. Super K. We were happy. We were balling in December. We were balling. In fact, if you had come to me in December, I would do plenty shakara, plenty younger for you, because I had plenty money. Kotsi, Uncle Sandy, and Kayode Adibola. And then I got that phone call from him in January. And he said, Nana, I'm in the hospital. And I said, Uncle Sandy, do you have to have this surgery? He said, no, I have to. This pain is too much. I can't bear it anymore. I said, Uncle Sandy, at 76, surgery is a red flag for you. You shouldn't. He said, Dana, you can't change my mind. I asked him a question. He answered me. And his answer that day told me Uncle Sandy lost the battle. I kept quiet. I said, I wish you all the best, Uncle. This is not the first time. He said, Nana, you know I've beaten death several times. I said, yes, I know. India, Lagos, yes, you have. You'll come out of this one as usual. Don't worry. I'll see you in 2 days, I said to him. In 2 days, I got a phone call that he has been taken to First Cardiology. And then I grabbed my phone. I started calling the whole of Nigeria. In fact, to the extent that I called Chief Oladiola. And Chief Oladiola said, he called me back and said, Nana, I hope all is well. I said, nothing is well. I need you to call Dr. Yemi Johnson for me and tell him that that man in his hospital is not just an ordinary man. I need them to give him a presidential treatment. I went to see, we were seeing him every day. We were seeing him. Uncle Buddy, well, we were there. And one day I went visiting. I was with Jane. I held his hand. We prayed for him. And I said to him, Uncle Sandy, I need you to get up. I need you to get out of this bed. We have a lot of projects to do. We have the British Museum project. We have the design show with Titi. We have so much to do. You cannot be here. I need you to get out and let us get to work. And he started crying. When I saw the tears, I said my good night and goodbye. I knew he was not going to make it. I don't know what my life would be without him. I couldn't take any step in art without consulting Uncle Sende. I don't know who to consult anymore. When I got a call that I should put up an exhibition to raise funds for him, I went to the house, but I ended up crying all through. I couldn't do anything. Uncle Sende was the only one who believed in me. He trusted me with his life. I said I was not going to cry today. But I can never believe I'm talking about Uncle Sende in the past. It is well. We lost the best in art. You know the only reason I did not allow the Odimayo speak at this event tonight? I'll tell you. I wanted you all to sit and understand the brother you had, the uncle you had, the father you had, but you did not know. If you knew who Uncle Sende was, all of you will wake up in the morning and go to the front of his house and say, you know the way they do Ajiroba kind of thing, you know, when they will go in front, you know the way they wake Oni of Ife up from bed, when they will go and chant in front of his bedroom, things like that, you know. That's the kind of thing you should have been doing for Uncle Sende. You had him, you were too close to him, and you didn't appreciate who he was. You didn't know him. So tonight, I wanted you, the Odimayos, to understand Uncle Sende from the view, the perspective that you had, Abi. So that's why you can see that tonight is for us in the art industry. We're the ones calling the shots here tonight. We will do everything possible to immortalize Uncle Sende, to keep his memory on. It's going to be a tough task because Uncle Sende is someone you can never understand in totality. This man was the one who taught me that if you ever come to his office and you're waiting to see him, and before he comes back, you decide to scribble something on a newspaper, he will file it for you. Go and meet him 20 years after, he will present it to you. Oga Duke, Naso? So those files in his house, I beg, Obiko, the art industry owns them, not the Odimayos. Because you won't know what to do with it. We know what to do with it. Please, guard them jealously for us so that nothing goes to waste. Don't worry, for his first year anniversary, you will see a different Uncle Sende. You will understand what you have kept in a Jew, and you think you just had one house there, but you don't know what is all in there. We will show you what is there. Don't worry. Thank you very much. So his best friend for many years, Uncle Kaide Oyetade, has requested that his tributes be read. And there's nobody that would do that honor other than me, because those are my two daddies. A tribute to Olasehinde Odimayo. A great man just passed this way. He lived very simply but left tidal waves in his wake. Sende was a well-mannered individual, an understatement, who tended more towards the formal than the casual in receiving you into his home, into his world, he was not given to frivolity and would push back sternly against the profane or the expression. He was spiritually keen and often withdrew it to himself to enjoy the peace and comfort that the road inward confers. He did not court controversies, especially if it had to do with his strong spiritual convictions. Yet, he had a lot of respect for the other person's views and would resolve contention by just maintaining a quiet, peaceful mien. He did all this without conveying any sense of spiritual superiority. From very early on, he threw a lot of trouble his way, perhaps too much for a single individual to bear in a lifetime. He suffered the loss of very dear ones, siblings, parents, children, spouse, and sometimes in quick succession. It spoke well of his character that he bore this anguish with a lot of dignity and recourse into his deep spiritual core. He invoked the law of karma to explain extremely painful circumstances that would have destroyed an ordinary individual. He rose up each time to engage the fate that kept calling. I'm going to skip a few lines so that I don't keep everybody waiting. Sunday was not a saint, perhaps. He was more than order around him. He was most conscious of his human frailties. In one moment of introspection and self-recognition, he saw a parallel between himself and the character portrayed in Franz Kafka's Die Verwandlung, The Metamorphosis. That was the level of desolation he felt in his soul. We were comfortable with each other's companies. We had always been from our youthful days at the university. In those days, at the Department of Modern Languages, he was a classmate who hardly related in the boisterous manner, typical of the age. He hid behind a serious demeanor and a well-clipped mustache, choosing to distance himself by communicating in only formal English. Classmates addressed him as Herr Odimayo. Even till now, understanding his stern Parisian bearing and nature, I was the naughty classmate who broke through that ice front subsequently and firmly announced to him that I was done with all the formality we had observed hitherto. From that period, we nurtured a close friendship, which ensuing years would further consolidate to the extent that we could say without any doubt we were best friends and favorite brothers. He liked to visit Ibadan and came around many times with wife and children in tow to enjoy the quiet suburban life that Ibadan offered. We visited them in Lagos too, and our families grew up together, bonded by the friendship that Sandy and I had nurtured from the very first day at the university. His visits took on more somber air in the last 20 years or so of his life. He was heartbroken most times because he missed the company of family and was beginning to feel the hints of a failing health. He spent a fortnight, a month or more on those relatively recent visits. On a particular occasion, I drove out with him to the countryside, got him to see the beautiful hills and valleys of his saying, approached from Ado Awaye, the small community with a scenic lake in the sky. He was overwhelmed by the quiet welcome that the country offered and broke down in tears of joy. I'll skip to the last paragraph. He wanted to write a book about his life, the peculiar travels he had been put through. He felt I knew him most intimately and would therefore be in a good position to do the writing on his behalf. I declined on the grounds that nobody could tell the story as painfully as he felt it. Besides, I was conscious of my tendency to express personal opinions that would not do justice to the person who lived in the story. He suggested using a ghostwriter, and we even arrived at a likely candidate, an old teacher at the Modern Language Department of the University of Ibadan, now a celebrated professor emeritus of drama. Sinde had a peculiar way of writing, so odd that our teachers at the university found it difficult to mark his scripts. Yeah, I don't know how many people can read his handwriting, even up till now. He wrote in capital letters, printed in Gothic style. His pen pushed impatiently at the sheet under. Somewhere out there in his archives lies a tome that I imagine is finished or nearly so, waiting to be unbound and exposed to eyes eager to understand the paragon of a man that Olasehinde Odimayo was. I commend this noble task to his last child, Mayowa, about whom he spoke so tenderly during the last years of his life. Uncle Sandy, thank you for giving us your life, for a time of your friendship. I will always remember that art is never done in a hurry. That was apparently his best slogan. Art is never done in a hurry. So we have some of his words over there. Remember your 6 feet too. Tomorrow is not promised. Oh my show. No guru in Nigerian business. Shebi eniyan náà ni, and many others. His memory would always bring tears to our eyes at some point, but we will always live to remember him for the good things that he did and many he could not achieve. Thank you, Uncle Sandy, and good night.
Thank you so much, Nana. She took the tribute for Kayode Oyetunde. We have 2 more to go. Nana took me through a journey of the last 3.5 years of my life, but I'm not going to go into that. Everything is connected to Uncle Sinde. I remember when I was down myself, and great support came from Uncle Sinde and Nana, as well as Madam Funke, the organizer and planner for this event. And I believe you love the atmosphere, right? Well put together, beautiful atmosphere, everything going seamlessly. Please, can we give Patog event a round of applause, please? Thank you so much. And I thank you for being involved in my personal life in the last 3.5 years, for getting me back to my feet. From the Ben Enwonwo Foundation, allow me to invite Sheun Ali to take their tribute. Sheun Ali, if you're in the house, please, can you join me here, please? Can we give Sheun Ali a round of applause, please?
Good evening, everybody, and my name is Sheun Ali. I think maybe allow me to just quickly say a few words before I read the tribute on behalf of the Ben Enwonwo Foundation. I think of most people in this room. I called him Mr. Odimayo fondly. I think I knew him in the least amount of years, but even now that he's passed, even during his lifetime, I would always remember his voice and how he called my name and how he would ask me specific questions, and he would then say, Sheun Shotiye, Sheun, do you understand? And I think I said in my tribute that even if I didn't understand a lot of the things he said then, I understand a lot of them now. He expressed a lot of interest about leaving a legacy, about a few wishes that he had, as some other people have mentioned here, a book, building his library, and we spoke a lot about not leaving things in a mess. And looking after things, and he really wanted his things to be looked after. So much so to mirror what Mr. Aluko has said earlier. He was very skeptical about donating anything to a Nigerian institution, simply because of the level of care and the level of detail that was required to look after his things. And, you know, like everybody else in this room, I think when the time does come to, you know, take some steps to, you know, contribute to the legacy, I think just like myself and anybody else, we are prepared and we will be deeply honored to carry on Mr. Odimayo's legacy. On behalf of the Benenwo Foundation, I'll just read the tribute written here by one of my bonds and dear friends as well, Oliver Enwomo. The Benenwo Foundation joins the Nigerian art community in mourning the passing of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo, former trustee of the foundation and one of Nigeria's most distinguished galleries, collectors, and cultural leaders. Prince Odimayo was a steadfast friend and supporter of the foundation for many years. As a trustee, he gave generously of his time, wisdom, and experience, helping to strengthen our work in preserving, promoting, and advancing the legacy of Professor Ben Enwomo, MBE, and more broadly, Nigerian art and culture. His commitment was evident from the earliest days of the foundation. He played an important role in fundraising, shipping, installation, and curatorial planning of Celebration of Excellence at the Royal Commonwealth Society in London in 1994, the first major posthumous exhibition honoring Ben Enwomo, and to this day, the largest solo posthumous exhibition of the artist's work ever presented. His dedication to that landmark exhibition reflected his unwavering belief in the importance of safeguarding artistic legacies for future generations. I'll skip a few paragraphs as well, just to save us some time. Beyond his many professional accomplishments, he will be remembered for his generosity, integrity, and kindness. He was a trusted advisor, a respected colleague, and a loyal friend whose encouragement and counsel benefited countless artists, curators, collectors, and cultural organizations. The Ben Enwomo Foundation extends its heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, and the Art Galleries Association of Nigeria, and the wider Nigerian and international arts community. Prince Olasehinde Odimayo leaves behind a legacy that will endure through the artists he supported, the institutions he strengthened, the collections he helped shape, and the cultural heritage he worked tirelessly to preserve. May God Almighty grant him eternal rest, and may his memory continue to inspire all who are committed to the advancement of Nigerian art. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, man. Let's go. Watch your leg. Sorry. Thank you so much, Madam Sheon Ali. The last tribute will be coming from Omoba Wale Odimayo, which will be read by Jane Rogers. Jane is a mentee of Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. I wish I had spent more time with Uncle Sehinde. I only met him on 2 occasions. The last one was in December during the Art Pantheon 5th anniversary. Jane Rogers, you have the floor now. Okay, she's trying to get her notes together while she's coming. Yes, ma'am. You can make your way to the stage. Okay. All right. While she's getting ready, Uncle Sehinde is someone like my father. You know those fathers that brag to you the school they went to? Like my dad. My dad would tell you, young man, I was schooled in Glasgow, Scotland. I said, once he starts that thing, I just call my mom, put more pepper in his food, put more pepper. Let us rest, I beg. And the man would just be blowing English back and forth like that. He would tell me, what I do in Nigerian schools. I know the Scottish, they have this way of speaking. When my dad is angry, he begins to give you that Scottish. Once he does that, I say, Daddy, Babu, we don't hear anything. Are you set, ma'am? Jane Rodas, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much once again for this opportunity. I'll be reading a tribute from Uncle Wale Odimayo. Said, brother saying the prefix brother is very special and more personal representation of brother. Brother saying they represented different identities to different people. To some, he was a dad. To others, he was the Olori Ebi of the Odimayo family. To some, a friend. To some, a brother. And to some, the art virtuoso. Some, he was a mentor, inspirator, and a motivator, teacher, counselor, etc. To me, he was my Samaritan. The Samaritan, my present life representation of the Bible story of a good Samaritan. How and why? I'm attaching a touching text message from my kid's mother to my younger brother, I beg your pardon, Oluronti Odimayo, that will give everyone an insight. Please read below. Dear Ronti, happy birthday in arrears. I sent you birthday greetings in my mind several times. Believe me. Sorry, I heard about Brother saying this transition. May the Lord be with the loved ones he left behind. Amen. Brother saying there is one Odimayo I can never forget easily. Anytime I remember his role when Wale was shot by armed robbers in Iju, I am always in awe that I don't know the Oyibo to put here. He handled the news when I took Okada, my first and I prayed my last time, to his house late that night. He rushed out to his house, half-dressed, and drove like James Bond from his house to Odimayo Family Hospital in Iju. The doctor there ran away, then to General Hospital Ikeja, screaming and shouting, Bimbo, keep shaking him. Don't allow him to sleep on us. I am sure that first aid saved his life. There was blood everywhere. I don't know how Brother Sainde managed that fiat coupled with instructions he passed to the others. And within a few hours, everybody was at the hospital to see him through the gruesome emergency procedure. I value and appreciate those moments till forever. It was the darkest night. Lessons learned. Good people suspend previous grievances and proceed to help with passion. I dove my heart for Brother Sainde. May the Lord be with those he left behind. Amen. That was the story of my Samaritan, Olasehinde Odimayo. Again, 2 years ago, I began my journey to a life-threatening medical condition that required a transplant. For years, I kept this very personal. One day, I decided to call Brother Sainde and told him my condition. He was alarmed. He kept telling me that all was going to be okay. The next day, he went to his hospital tested his entire body, got a full report, and called me excitedly, Wallace Baba, my pet name from him. I'm donating an organ to you. Wow. I didn't ask this man. Oh. I cried on that day like a baby. I really cried. Again, my Samaritan stepped in. Same man, 2 different occasions. After 5 months of dedication to his recovery, and the situation was getting horrendous, on the day before he died, I got a full report of his situation. I knew I had to let him go. I had a quiet prayer and I said, Brother, you can go now. I'm going to be okay. No matter where you are still going to be my Samaritan. Next morning, my Samaritan went to be with the Lord. I will forever remember you, brother. You are the reason why I'm alive today. Your brother, Olasehinde Odimayo. Thank you very much.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trial should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ has regarded my helpless estate and has shed his own blood for my soul. It is well with my soul, It is well with my soul.
Thank you very much. It is well, it is well, it is well. It is well with his soul, and it will be well with all our souls that are seated here. He no longer with us physically, but God Almighty will be with each and every one of us that are seated here today. Allow me to invite to the microphone once again one of the shining lights within the firmament of the arts culture. Please welcome with me Nana as she comes to speak to us, to take us through the vote of thanks, and afterwards we'll have refreshments and then we go home. Nana is battling tears. Oh. Please hold the tears a bit more.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Has been a beautiful evening. Thank you very much for taking out your time out of your very busy schedule to be here to celebrate the life and times of Uncle Day. To the family, we commiserate with you once again and would say that the Lord will grant you the strength to go through those irreplaceable loss. To the ARC community, we keep consoling ourselves with his legacy, with what Uncle Sandy stood for, with what he wanted to do. So he lives on in our hearts. As he gave me wings to fly, he gave everybody something, either a limb to work or a hand to do whatever. We will always all remember him fondly. I wish everybody a beautiful journey back home. And may we, when it's our time to leave this world, may we leave amazing memories in the lives of others. Let us all do everything to put a smile on the next person's face. Let's be that hand that someone else needs. Let's be the shoulder that others need to rest on. On this note, I want to say a very good evening, and I wish everybody a safe journey back home. Thank you. On behalf of everybody, once again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been there with the family, with all of us throughout the journey. It was really it was a very, very emotional one. A very traumatizing 6 months. We want to say a very big thank you to everybody for being there. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We cannot mention names here, but we say a word of prayer for everybody. Thank you and good night. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the night of tribute in loving memory of the great late Prince Olasehinde Odimayo. Thank you so much for coming. We wish you a safe journey home. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to crave your indulgence. Can we take pictures together? Our photographers are on standby. Let's take pictures. Let's exchange contacts. Let's avail ourselves the opportunity to make new contacts and friends. God bless you for coming.